Okay, so if anyone really cares, this unit's back together. This is an LG. This is the 12,000. Yeah. I do like the back on this unit. It has that. I need to fix some of those bins, but it's got that thing on there. Oh, I pressed a button. On. Okay. So it sounded angry when I first got it, but now it seems to fire right up and run okay. You know, I really do like the vintage units a lot better. They really do. They're made a lot better, and they seem to run better and whatever. But I mean, something like this, I mean, this really isn't too bad. I mean, it's R22. When we get to stuff like this, that's this cheap, flimsy crap like this, little small ones like that, modern ones, I don't really have a use for them. I have this one installed here because it basically gets no maintenance and it just sits out in the rain all year round, and I didn't want to put a vintage one there. So yes, that would be a lot better. But when it's something big like this, this one's not made too poorly. It's not made as good as a vintage one would be, but I mean, it performs well, it cools right down, and it's not bad. I do like mechanical controls, and I do like mechanical controls, and I do like wood grain and stuff like that, but a lot of people don't like that. I do find it handy to have a remote. There's sometimes I wish I had a remote on my unit that I use all the time, which is a Friedrich X-Star. I don't know if I can get a remote for that or not. But there's nothing wrong with these modern units, and a lot of people who collect the vintage ones say, oh, if you have a modern one, it's a piece of shit and da-da-da-da-da. Well, no. Certain modern ones are pieces of shit, and the more modern LGs are, but these older Gold Star type LGs aren't. It's not as good as a vintage one. I mean, those little cheap ones, last pretty well for what they are. And yes, I would rather have a vintage one over a new one any day. And no, I would never go out and buy a brand new one because it's stupid, at least for me, because I can get one cheaply and I know how to maintain these old ones and clean them up and whatever. But if somebody has a modern unit, I'm not going to say, oh, ha ha ha, look, you got a modern unit, what an asshole, da 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 da. You know, I mean, let's respect each other, okay? Somebody can have a different opinion, and you can still get along with them. It doesn't mean their opinion's right, it doesn't mean their opinion's wrong. It is fact that the old units are built better, it is fact that they last longer. But not everyone wants an old unit. And this one here, I mean, this one's 11 years old, and it's not showing any signs of slowing down. There's hardly any rust in it at all. So, I don't know. I'm just rambling. I haven't cleaned it yet. I'm gonna clean it at some point. That coil needs to be cleaned. Both of them do. But you know, I mean, I can see both sides. I could see why somebody wants one that they can program a timer in, and they have a remote. I mean, especially if you're gonna have it up in a window up high or something, you just press a few buttons and adjust it. Whatever. I don't like the digital control, but I can see why you would want a remote. I don't want a remote, but I mean, it all depends. But I mean, if you have an old unit, should you rush out to buy a new one? Absolutely not. And if you have a new unit that is acting up, should you try to find a vintage one? I don't know. Should you? I would if it were me. But I mean, there ain't nothing wrong with this, right? If I could get this, say it was all cleaned up and I really needed an air conditioner, and I could get this one for maybe $100 or so, this thing is going to work just fine. It's going to work just as good as an old one from the same time. Of the same size. Now, it might not last 50 years. It probably won't. But I mean, right now it seems like it's in good condition. It seems to be cooling. The compressor sounds healthy. The fan motor sounds healthy. The coils are not rusted, although they do need to be cleaned. All the paint's in good shape. The bottom pan's not rusted out, you know. Now, I do like R22. This is R22, not 410. Anyway, I'll quit rambling, but, just everyone get along, okay? I don't know, but, yeah, so what I did earlier was this thing. I stuck my finger in the fan. Don't stick your finger in a running fan. It's not a good thing to do. It doesn't feel good. Trust me. Anyway, one thing I never understood was these vents. Look at this little vent. Never understood those. Anyway, thank you for watching. Feel free to leave a comment if you have one. I love talking to people. And if you have any questions, comments, or anything like that, leave a comment. I'll probably reply if it needs to be replied to. I love discussing stuff with people, so don't be afraid to leave a comment. I will not cuss you out like somebody we know. Thank you for watching.